So when you unbox your boom, you'll get it like this. We'll cut the zip ties on the arms. With the boom comes your mounting package to go to your boom arms. So we'll set that aside. Typically, I will do it up on a table. These are going to be your boom arms that are going to attach into your boom receptacles in the sprayer with pin locking. I will put them on later. I will get my mounts on first. Two mounts and all the hardware come in this package. Both mounts. And typically on any other boom, you'll measure the width between your boom receptacles. I know we have 28-inch inside to inside, so I know my mounts have to be just outside the bracket of the spring. So I can go without measuring that where my brackets need to be. There's two different sizes U-bolts in here. One being the 1/4 inch and one being a 5/16 U-bolt. And there's two 5/16 for each bracket and one 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch is used on the boom arm, so it'll attach like that with the boom arm going back away from it. So, and then of course the washer and nut go with that. I'll get them just started. I will adjust it all once I get my arms on. Everything will be loose until final assembly. Them on, and I do start I start
backwards?
No, sir. And I start these.
Doesn't this go around the boom arm?
Oh, yeah, sorry. That one is.
Yeah.
When I was on these.
So now the nice thing is we can edit that out.
Yeah. Yeah, so. There, now we're correct. With my short thumb, it's always fun dealing with bolts. Come on, there we go. Now we're correct. So once we get both of these on, it takes a little time. If he's videoing the whole time, it's...
That's what we sped up. You can take your time.
That's why I don't do them on the boom. It's a lot easier on the table. So with that one on, we'll go to the other side. Again, knowing it's just inside the bracket because the brackets are centered. All right, now that I got the brackets pre-assembled, I will start. I'm just going to fold my boom out. And it will mount, of course, to the boom just like this. So we'll fold it out to make it. And this is a 12-foot boom, so do a 12 or 18. Assembly is going to be the same way. Again, your 28-inch spread. These are outside the bracket. On the 18, it's inside the bracket. So there is a little difference in the booms as far as, because the centerpiece is 6 foot instead of the 4 foot length. So then basically we just start. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, hose cutter for this process. These T-jet boom clamps to hold your nozzle bodies with check valves. They come in the T and the elbow. Of course, we're going to do 2 sections today, so your elbows will be on the end. We'll start with the T, carry each side through. So basically, you just loosen these all the way. We are doing 20-inch centers, so what we're going to do is grab a tape measure here, and I don't have one, but we're going to go center of boom, 20-inch center. So we're going to go 10 inches off of center each side, and then 20 inches down the boom. So this one is going to get a T. We'll start facing towards the back of the machine. I like to put the hose in so it's as close to the bar as you can. I'll show you that once I get the cap on it here. And these just slide and lock that whole thing in like that. Okay, we know, and if I mark these, we are 44 inches, so we're going to go to 12 inches here off the edge, and that's going to be our first one. We can actually lock that down once I get it slid right in there like that. And we can lock that one into place, tighten it down on the bar. And that's our first one. Same thing on the other side. We'll do this all the way through to get our 6 nozzles on there total. Back these all the way out so they ain't out. You can just slide them apart. Again, this one's just going to go in here. We're going to have a T, again, straight to the edge. This one slide down and wiggle that. Make sure you get under the square body and slide it up. And I can go, same thing is going to be 12 inches. Again, this is, don't have to be exactly 20 inches. If you're 19 and a half, it's not going to make much difference on your spray. And tighten down. Next one, again, we'll go with another T, right to the end. And on this side, on the right side of your machine, I keep these going the same way, with your nozzles facing towards the back. When we get to the last boom section on the other side, we will flip that over and put them on the back just so your boom closes nicer without any interference. So I just take this, center 20 inches. And then on the end, we'll put the elbow to dead end the line on this end. You are going to be about 10 inches short of the end, doing it with 6 nozzles. That'll give you a full 12-foot spray pattern. So your spray pattern will get you to 12 foot. You do 7 nozzles, we'll put each one an inch off the end. We'll give you a 12-foot boom, basically a 14-foot spray pattern. So depending on your application, if if you're row crop or spraying pasture, you know, your 7 rows is you get a little more coverage. If you're doing pastures, row crop, these will go down the row a little better. So it's just on what you're using, and you can move these around. Snug. Powder coat's thick on this one. Can't slide her real good. And then I dropped it, see? But now I know where it goes anyhow. That one goes here. There we go. And the good news is we get to repeat the other side. The other side, like I says, I'm going to mark my 20-inch spacing on this one. My 20-inch spacing there. I'm going to mark on that. And then these I'm going to face to the back of the boom. And you'll see why once I get it complete. I'm going to move these so they face to the back of the boom, all for closure of the boom. They will work the other way. It's just preference. The boom closes a lot nicer, neater, like this. And one more. And the elbow on the end. Measure it so I don't drop it again. And tighten. Now all we have to do is run our hoses. With your boom will come cut length hose, or 20-foot section of hose, so you can just start with your clamps. All will come in the kit, what you bought. So I like, some people do it different. I like my clamps, everything in. I like it all in on the boom, so, and just a nut driver. And we'll go through the process of this for a little bit. You'll want a hose cutter. The second piece of hose you're going to need to add a little bit of length to it, just for the fold. So you fold. I typically will start in the middle and put that on. And usually I come up over the top. Your full length is going to be at a half fold, and then it goes the other way. So if I go up over the top and I can have a little slack there, I'll be plenty long. So. And tighten them clamps. I'm going to do the other boom after this. Then we will hang it on, and we can tie up our center to our sprayer. Same over here. Something about me putting the clamps in the middle. Like I said, these lengths are going to be the same lengths because you got 20-inch centers, so. Tighten them. Inside again with the fold. I like to have them halfway folded. Bring my hose up. Don't let it spring on you. Get enough up there. And I always like a little extra just so it stands up. When you open it, I like it to loop up a little bit. Just make sure you stay out of the spring when it folds. And when you do it, your hose will always have a little twist, so put it on where it stands up. And that way it forms that way, stays that way, everything about it, it works real good. Tighten them down. All right, so now we just need to put our boom arms on so we can set it up on the sprayer. And we have the holes here to get pinned into there to lock in. So I'm just going to get these slid out. Slide my boom arms down in. And they can just rest like that. And for now, I can just snug these up so it don't come out. I keep them right at the bottom because it's easier to assemble than on the machine. I just snug that one up. So I might have to loosen it to get everything to be square in the machine. So I just get my boom arms in first, snug one up so it can't come out. Like so. And just don't have to be real tight. Like I said, we're going to have some adjusting to do. So, and then our fold section, we'll always fold the right side first, just how I put the nozzles on. And it folds nice and square. And here's where you'll see why I put these nozzles to the inside. It folds nice and square. Otherwise, the nozzles would hit. Better chance of breaking nozzles. It just folds much nicer that way. So then I'll go take it over here to my machine. I'll get my bars lined up in here. Push it all the way into my holes. And then just make sure my tubes are square. Once you tighten at this point, you will see this one slid up. That wasn't quite tight enough. Still holding though, so that's good. Get this one back up where that one is. And that's as low as the boom can go. One thing I do that for is when I have my hose length, I need enough hose to make sure I can take it as low as I can go depending on the height of your machine. So I like to leave it down. That's why I do it on the table, do it here, so Everything fits correctly. Oh, I need some cam locks, though. I do not have cam locks. So, all right. So once we're at this point, I got it as low as I can. If your machine come with boomless, you're adding a boom later. This will be a solid hose. It will come with the extra cam lock to go to your boom if you order a boom kit for an existing machine. So you'll end up with 3 cam locks of each size to be able to cut these hoses and put them in line. So basically on the left side, you can get a hose clamp, and I am doing a female cam lock on this side. A little lube sometimes works really good there, but I can usually get them on. So for this, we'll just cam lock that one right onto there. And then your hose is going to run straight down, and you're going to go to this side. So you're going to just get the length you need. This is as low as I can go, so I know I have enough hose if I need to drop it to 12 inches from the ground from this height. I know I have what I need there. And you raise it up, this hose will just be out here. It'll be out of your way. Put that on there. This is why I like to do it on a bench, so you ain't bent over all the time putting this together. This is just so you can see. And the same thing here. This one was already set up for a boom, so we're just going to uncam lock that. This will fold up out of the way when I'm done here. So I got the other side cam lock, hose clamp, and my male cam lock. And male. Tighten that one up. That one will can right into that one. And then I like to bring them straight down so the hoses are together, uniform. Take my angle out so the hoses are uniform. And like that. And put that one on. Now the boom is assembled. We can set our height and tighten everything up on our arms. Does come with lock pins to lock them in. So your lock pins, like you said, there's holes to line up there. When I do this part, I like to pin both sides, just so I know it's even in and out so it ain't twisted. Both sides pinned. Now I can square up get my 1/2 inch for them bigger bolts on the boom. And all I want to do here is just make sure I'm centered on each side for my boom arm. So I'm just looking, I got 2 finger. Don't have to be precise, just so your arms come in and out. And I'm just going to loosen that one up. I want to loosen it just so it hangs and relaxes, just to square this stuff up. Just so it looks nice and square. I can tighten the boom on it, because that ain't going to change. Go the right way. And same thing on this side. We'll just make sure it's nice and square and tighten that boom up. Go back to our 7/16. Now that we're square there, I'm just going to put my knee under here just to balance it. I'm going to loosen this all the way up just so everything's nice and loose. And see how that, now I just need to make sure I'm at the same height on both. I typically do it at the bottom because that's the hardest place to line it up. And tighten it up there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, just at the same height. I'm putting my finger just lining it up to that. They both ended up the outside, which is fine. And then just have to, you know, this will probably be raised, so I don't have to get too carried away there. And then all I need to do is double check it, pull my pins, and make sure it slides out and slides in freely. There is going to be some resistance, but that's pretty good if you don't have to jiggle too hard. Put your pins in. And your boomless should have a cap and a plug for these, or take it off if you're doing all boom, just so they don't fill with dirt. If you cap and plug it, just pin this up. Plug them together, yeah. And you are spraying with your boom. And that's all it is. With the tip of your choice, this customer preferred to use a AI C, or AIXR, which is an air inducted tip, a little bigger droplet. These are 2.5s. So he plans on doing about 6 miles an hour, 10 gallons an acre, 6 to 7 miles an hour, 10 gallons an acre. So these go on just quarter turn on the bodies we had put on previous. They are self-aligned, so we'll put these 6 on. And they are all self-aligned. And there you go.
So that's the boom and the boomless. Let's go spraying, shall we?